I think what resiliency means is coming back from a hardship, finding what is normal, and finding meaning and purpose and connection in life after going through difficult times. It matters because trauma is an unfortunate reality of our world, and sometimes it seems like things we see in the news are just getting worse and worse. I hope that ultimately we're able to solve big problems that our world is facing, like climate change and conflict and sexual assault, refugee crises. But until we do, we need to figure out how do we help individuals who face those kinds of hardships live their best lives, despite what they've encountered.
I like to think about resilience more in a frame you would use in a business model almost. Your ability to adapt to adversities, your ability to withstand adversities, and your ability to recover from. We often just think about the recovery process, but we don't really think about actively building the resilience of children to withstand future adversities or adapt to situations where there may be chronic, ongoing series of deep adversities that aren't going to be resolved quickly over time, such as a war or a series of very complex hardships that aren't going to go away in a short period of time.
I think resiliency is the path forward. Resiliency is the knowledge that we can move forward, and the installation of hope that it brings, I think, is one of the most important things we can do for those we work with.
Resilience matters because, well, we know that most people are resilient, some people are not, and some people develop chronic problems after highly aversive events. So we know we want to understand, I think, the shift in focus towards resilience has been really important because our focus used to be in the mental health fields and psychology, psychiatry, other fields, they used to be on pathology, on post-traumatic stress disorder and other phenomena. Those are still very much important, and they're not going away. But by focusing on resilience, we're now in a position where we can begin to understand why most people are resilient. What are they doing? Why is it that most human beings can go through a highly aversive event and come out psychologically unscathed? They struggle for a little bit, but they're healthy and they continue functioning. How does that work? What's happening? And so by trying to understand that, we have many, many new inroads in trying to understand essentially what goes wrong when people develop chronic reactions.
Really at the heart of resilience is joy. And you really need to be careful around, if you work in the field of resilience and trauma, that life just is described as trauma, and it becomes quite a dark and difficult place to be. And sometimes I've heard even in the speakers when they're speaking, I can feel my heart pounding with the anxiety of it all, a kind of almost like an accumulated anxiety. And then somebody gets up and speaks about exactly the same topic, but everything's delivered through a sense of joy, adaptability, ways forward, and then you just feel so motivated to be able to work with resilience and to feel very optimistic about the work and about being in places that need resilience, rather than the natural feeling being, I don't want to be around this work because the personal cost will be one of having to be in a difficult place all the time. And my work, although I work with the most challenged communities in the UK, is one of an experience of eternal and unwavering joy.
These videos were really inspired because we know that there are both people working so hard after crisis, and there are people working in the trenches of their own communities every day, in their schools, in their organizations. And so we really encourage people to remember that they're not alone, that there's always hope, there's always help, and that we are designed to need each other. Resilience is not about gritting our teeth and getting through or sucking it up. Resilience is about honoring our need to ask for and receive help. And so that's, I think, a good reminder that you're not going alone, and that there is someone always to help, and there's always hope. And so if you are in a position that you need a helping hand, reach out for one, And if you are positioned to have the resources to share, know that there is someone who needs your help.